back to another tutorial in UEFN. So today we're back with materials, and in today's video we're going over more of the advanced stuff we can do with materials, such as material instances, making them see-through, and other things like that, using textures, changing colors on textures. We're going through a lot today. So this video is a lot longer than usual, that's why. This video just has a lot more content in it. We're going over a lot more. It's going to be a bigger tutorial. We're going over it all, or everything we possibly can that I know currently. So last tutorial, if you didn't see it, you might want to go watch that before this one. We went over the very basics of materials, such as changing colors, adding height maps, adding different variables, such as making it metallic, making it rough, making it specular, all that type of stuff. We did that in the last tutorial, so you might want to go watch that before you get into this. If you already know about all that, then stick around, because we're going to go through a lot more in today's tutorial. So the first thing I want to touch upon is I want to show you guys how to make a colored texture and how to make it look transparent. So we're going to call this, in my case, I'm going to make a rift. So we're going to call this M. I always put M in front because that stands for material, in case you guys are wondering. I'm going to do M underscore rift. So there you go. We have a brand new one. And I'm probably going to make a new folder here called textures, where I can put all my textures into without any problems. So I'll drag that into textures. Let's drag that in there real fast. And then we'll open this up and we'll import a new one from my downloads here. And I'm going to grab broken glass. So broken glass is what people usually use to get riffs into UEFN, in case you guys were curious about that. So we'll get started in here. So the first thing we want to do is we're actually going to come down to our material settings here. We're going to make the blend mode translucent, and that's really all you got to change. That's like it. Super easy, super fast. Now we'll come down to our textures and we'll add broken glass here. So if we plug this in as base value, you can see it just is a black thing of broken glass. It does not look very good. Now we don't want that, so we'll plug RGBA into opacity, and now we have a nice transparent broken glass image, which is pretty cool. But that's not what color rifts usually are, so we're going to break that link, and then we're going to break this too, and we're going to get a vector param here, and we're going to call this color. And this will be our color for our rift. So in this case, since it is a rift, I want to make it a blue color just to give it that rift look. So we'll get blue out here, and we're gonna get a add, or actually, since we're okay, let me explain the difference between add and multiply real fast before we keep going. Add is if you're adding two colors together, and multiply is if you're multiplying two things together. So in this case, we're multiplying the texture with the color. We're not adding them together, we're multiplying them together to give us a really nice look. So if we put this here, boom, we have a blue rift. So if I add that, let me show you guys an example. If you add it, let me just break all the links on here. Pull that up there, pull add, plug these together. It'll change the background instead of the actual image, because we're just adding them to the actual material instead of adding them to the image, the texture. So that's why we multiply them together, because we're not adding them together, we're multiplying them. So we'll get back to that, do that, and we'll go back to base color. So there we go. We have a blue rift. Plug this back into opacity. Boom, we have a blue broken rift. So now you guys may be thinking, it's not glowing. Why is it not glowing? What you want to do is come over here, and actually you want to hold S and left click and create a param. We'll call this glow. And all you gotta do is plug this into your emissive color, and this will make the base color glow already. So let's set this to 3. Oh, hold on, we can't do that yet, I forgot. We gotta break this, and we gotta add a param vector, or vector param. We'll call this glow color. We'll put this here, and we're going to multiply these together like so. You there, you there, bringing this here. So as you can see, it's not really getting any color yet because I haven't set any. We want this to be the same blue as we did up here, so we'll come right here, grab this, we'll copy the hex sRGB. So Control C on that, and then we'll do OK, and we'll come down here, just go down here and do Control V. Okay, that'll give us the same color, same glow, all that stuff, looking good. And now we have a glowing rift. If you want it to be brighter, you can play with the settings. I'll go up to 5, but like as you can see, we can make it brighter, super bright, or not as bright. It just depends. Usually I set it about 50 for a really good glow effect, but it's up to you guys. So that is how you make a rift effect. So now if you come out here and we grab not down there, come up here, we go to shapes and we grab a plane. We'll pull this out here, we'll resize it, make it really big. And then before we do this, actually, because it won't work correctly, we gotta make an instance for this material. So we'll come down here, we'll create a material instance, and we'll just keep it as named. And for this, I'm gonna go ahead and set this to 0 as a default value since we are using an instance. And we'll go ahead and open our instance up. So instances in all materials are the way you can modify color and your params and like all that good stuff. So in this case, we can have all the color, the main color, the glow color, and then the glow itself. So we're gonna set this back up to 50, and boom, we can edit it in this view to see it in a lot better format, I guess you can say. Depends on how you like it. And also we can turn two-sided to true here, and now it's multi-sided, which is nice. We want it to be two-sided, so let's do Control S on that. Come out here, and we will go to our material right here, and we'll put the instance on it, which is already selected, and boom, we have a rift. Obviously I got a really fast one, so it's gonna have a watermark. In your case you won't want a watermark, but since I just grabbed this really fast, it has a watermark on it. So all we gotta do now is just pretty much rotate it, and you will have yourself a good looking rift, just like that. Like I said, usually there's no watermark. In this case, I just grabbed it really fast. But yeah, this is the rift. I'm trying to get it straight, but I guess that's the straightest we're gonna get it. So yeah, there is our rift. Looking pretty nice. Not looking the best, because like I said, rush to grab the asset. It's just a watermark one. And you can see a little cut off on the edge. That's just because I didn't make sure it was seamless or nothing like that. So it's not gonna look the best as you would imagine, but that's just a simple example of how to make an image or a texture into a colored image like that. So there you have it. We have a rift here, and yeah, in case you're wondering what the rift texture came from, I just searched up bullet hole glass PNG, and that popped up. So yeah, that's where I got that for. So there's our rift instances, and that's how you make a translucent image where you can see through the texture, but the texture is still visible. So next up, we're gonna make a new material. We're gonna make this M underscore, and I think we're gonna call this one, we're gonna make a glass material. So glass materials are pretty easy to make. So first you wanna come through here, you wanna set your blend mode, I cannot talk, sorry. Blend mode to translucent, and you wanna make your shading model to thin translucent. So you'll see errors pop up. This is usual. So we come down here to your translucency, and you want to go to your lighting mode, and you want to switch it to your surface forward shading, like that. So there's that. And then we'll get a param vector, or a vector param. This will be our color in this case. So we'll grab that there. And then this one's a little unique because we're not actually connecting it to the main node. We're connecting this to a different node. So this one's going to be called thin translucent material output. Plug it into there, and it may not look that cool so far, but if I put this on to, let's say, this one here, as you can see, it's just a boring looking thing. It's because I haven't set it up correctly yet. So let's keep going through it. We'll set this one. I want this glass to be a nice blue color. I like blue. Blue is cool. So we got that going there. Your color into thin translucent material. So now we want to add an opacity param. So hold S, press that. I'll put O for opacity, and we'll plug that into here. So boom, just like that, the color is already added, and it's see-through. We have a see-through piece of glass that's blue, which is really, really cool. I like this. and it's super easy to make. You see, I made that really fast. And of course, you can put other textures on top of it, add roughness, whatever you like. But this is a simple instance of making glass in UEFN through materials. So you can go through, do whatever you want with it. If you want to make it glow, you can. If you want to make it have metallic or any of that fun stuff, you can. Very simple, very easy. Didn't take long at all. The only downside is this is not a two-sided material, which means if you want it to be two-sided, what you will have to do is come in here, and we'll have to make an instance off of it. Do that, and then we'll come down to our material property overrides, and we'll turn on two-sided to true. And it's gonna go invisible for a minute, and there it is. We have a two-sided piece of glass here. Save it, and it will use that. It might look a little more weird since it is two sides. So if you come inside, you can see it inside. Come outside, you can see outside. That's usual. I mean, it's gonna be a little cut off, all that stuff, just because it's rendering two sides. It won't look the best. So if you want it to be inside only, just set it to two sides. If you want it to be outside only set to two. Don't worry about any of that actually, because it will make it look worse. Just depends on what your use is for it. I was just showing you guys how to make glass in this scenario. So there's glass. So if you guys are if I'm going too fast, I'm sorry. I'm just really trying to go through all this advanced stuff in the least amount of time possible. So next up, this one's a little more harder. We're making a m_texture movement. So this one's a little bit more advanced, like I said already. What we're doing in this one is we're recoloring the texture, we're making it move, and we're setting up the coordinates and everything for it to be able to move. So, with that all said, we're going to come to our textures. We're going to import a new texture, and I have one that's shapes. It's all about shapes. Shapes. So if I connect this to base color, I don't have a height map on this, so it's going to look kind of funny, and since I quickly imported as well, it doesn't look the coolest thing ever. But we're going to make these shapes actually move on this. So far it's just boring black and white shapes. If you want to keep it like that, go ahead, but in my case I'm going to get a vector param real fast. I'm going to name this color like I've been doing the past couple times. We'll drag it up here, and we're going to multiply on this just like so. So we're going to go ahead and plug this in here, plug that in here, and do that. So you can see it's all black. If we don't want it all black, we want it to be, let's make it green. So this makes all the white in the middle green, and it does override the black a little bit, makes it a little more green. It's a little harder to override colors on textures that have two colors on them. Still possible, just a little more harder. So, just like so, we have a green, cool looking thing. So next up, we want to make it move. Now this is where things get a little complicated. So since we're moving textures that are like this, we need a texture coordinate. Once I can type RE coordinate. There we go. We have a texture coordinate. This thing has U tiling, V tiling, and coordinate index. It has a lot of cool things that we're gonna use. Well, I'll get into that in a minute. We're just pulling everything out. So now we need to add, and then we need a what else should we? What else? Let me think. We want to make it. Do we want to make it rotate or pan? I'm thinking we're gonna make it pan. So we need a panner, and just like that, that should be everything we need, I believe. So we'll plug this into add. We'll plug this into coordinate. We'll plug this into UV. So as you can see, I don't have it moving at any speeds. I'll make it move at 1 speed, and boom, the texture is spinning. Move it down to a 0.5 speed, slows it down. If I put it to 0 to stop, it can stop. So as you can see with the texture coordinate, we now have a rip in our texture because it is not seamless. That is a problem I've been having. You just gotta play around with your tiling. Like I think if we put this down to 0.5, it will make it bigger. 1. V tiling. So U tiling is your X, V tiling is your height. So as you can see, this will expand it down that way. And you just gotta play around with it, get it to a point where it's not really doing that. In this case, I really don't know which one probably won't stop it, just because I don't have a good texture. maybe if I set it 0, yeah, okay. So as you can see, we just completely altered the texture I was using. This texture coordinate thing is very powerful with altering your original texture into a whole different texture pretty much. So now if I set speed to, like, let's say 1, it's spazzing out. Pretty crazy. Too fast. If I set it to 0.5, it's doing more of a flashing effect. Now if I set back 0, I'm going to have it 0. I don't want to keep it flashing for too long just in case someone does have photosensitivity, because I don't want to give them a seizure or nothing. So yeah, as you can see, like if I put this to 0.1, it would do more of a slow strobe. So what we're doing is we're actually just moving that around to have more effect on the V-tiling. Or not the V-tiling, the U-tiling. So if I set V-tiling to 0.5, we can get more expanded out. And if I set this to 0.1, it will have the same effect still, because it is just flashing on the speed. Now if I set this to 0.1, it's moving upwards, which is really, really cool. Now this is more of a texture that people were probably looking for. So we have this really cool moving up effect. So with that so far, we're getting pretty good at this, right guys? Or so we think. It just keeps going though. So let's say we want to add another color to it, right? We want a vector param, and we'll name this color 2. This will be our second color we add. We'll go ahead and we'll break all of our links to this multiply here, and we'll go ahead and add. So we're adding 2 colors together. Let's say I want to add green and blue together. We'll add these 2 here, and we'll have them multiply down into the texture. And then, oh, I did not mean to drag the whole thing. Put the base color there. As you can see now, we have a green-blue mixture color. This is a good way to mix colors. Lower down you have green, and higher up you have blue. It's a really nice way to add colors. I mean, it makes it look a lot cooler if you're trying to do multicolors and all that. And then if you want to go even further with this, you can make it translucent, and you can add the RGBA down to opacity. Now you have a translucent moving one. It's pretty cool. And then, of course, if you want to make it glow now, we'll come over here, we'll add a param by holding S and clicking, and we'll call this glow. And then we'll set this to our emissive color. I couldn't think what it's called. We'll make it glow at 0.5. It's a white glow, so you want to go ahead and add a color vector, or not a color vector, a vector param, and name this glow color, just like so. And then we'll go ahead and break this. We'll add multiply, and we'll just multiply the 2 together. Add our, oh, did not mean to right click, emissive color there, and we'll change it from black to probably, let's go with mostly green. So now you can see green's really popping out. And like I said, if you want to do the same thing you did up there, you can go ahead and actually break this, and we can go ahead and get our color vector, which I'm just going to copy and paste another one. I don't feel like searching it. Copy and pasting is a lot faster when we're working with a lot of different things as we are in here. Go ahead and copy this, and then we'll go ahead and paste that into here. And then we'll do the same for the green, which since I named it the same color, it will copy and paste in the same name, which is also kind of useful if you're using the same color over and over. Because like if I rename this to, let's say I rename this to color, it should turn green, I believe. Yep, default value does turn green, and boom. So then I can call this color 2, and it'll turn to the right blue that we need, just like so. Pretty cool how you can rename it and have it do that. So this is a nice tip to have. We'll go ahead and add these together. There, and there, and multiply that into there, and boom, we have that now blue green effect going through it all. Now since I don't have it very bright, it's not the best, but like if I make it 1.5, we got a brighter glowing color. So that is more of a basic way to make stuff move. It looks like a lot, I know, and it is a lot, I won't lie, but if you want to have even better effect on this, we'll go ahead and hold L on your keyboard and left click, you'll get a lerp. So lerps are useful for adding different materials to colors in a better way, pretty much. So let me go ahead and get add. I don't know why I deleted that last add. We'll go ahead and add this here, add this here. We'll keep the multiply there. Actually, I think we'll get rid of it. We'll have a lerp going. So your texture is always your alpha, and this I usually plug into B just because why not? And we'll add that to base color. So now you can see more of a blending way. Let me go ahead and put this 0, and I'll show you guys what that first one did. And let me change opacity back to normal. So you can see it made it look more thorough and more smooth as it transforms. Lerps are a better way to do it, in my opinion. I just prefer doing lerps. So I like that. So let's go back to 1.5. And then what we can do here, we can also lerp this. And let me show you how this is useful on this one. So hold L and left click. I did not mean to do that. We got another lerp here. We won't plug those in yet. It's gonna get a little messy. It will start getting a little messy as you do more and more. So we'll go ahead and plug this down to alpha. And then we'll go ahead and get another add, cause I did not mean to get rid of that last one. Go ahead and add those together. I'm gonna go ahead and scoot all these over because I'm running out of workspace. Like so. Plug that into B. And then we'll go ahead and make it glow a little better, which actually, since I did not plug that in yet, it's not glowing. There we go. So now you can really see the blue in it. The blue is way more obvious than it was before I added the lerp. And that just makes everything a lot better. So you can see, materials do start building up really fast and looking very complicated. But it's not very hard once you start learning the basics of it. Just the hardest part I would say about materials is keeping everything organized. Because if you don't keep it organized and you don't label what everything is, it will start getting a lot more complicated. And you'll start getting more lost in your materials. So in this case, we ended up changing the colors of the texture. We made the texture move. We recoordinated it to make it look a lot smoother in a whole different sample. And we went through and we made two colors work on an emissive glow color while making it look good like that. And the best part is we made it translucent as well. So we'll go ahead and save that. We'll go ahead and auto save, or I'll cancel the auto save. It don't matter for now. And now if I go ahead and I add a new shape and we add a spear, we resize this thing up to be really big. And we come in here, we go to this, and we go to our new one, which is that. We use it. We have a really cool movement effect here going on. Now, you could use this forever. It don't really matter. This was just a quick example. Oh, as quick as I could do. Because it does take a lot of brain power even after you've been working on it for a while to think about exactly what you need and how you can make it execute. That part to me, this video is probably a little long. I'm sorry about that. But overall, now we have like a cool looking force field effect, which I really like that. And that's really cool. So, in today's tutorial, we went over how to make moving textures, how to make them look different, recolor them, how to make them translucent, how to make textures have color over them, and how to make glass in this. All that was a great tutorial, but there's still so much more to materials that we gotta go over in a future one. But I'm about to overwhelm you guys with that today. We went over enough. I feel like I did enough explaining. I hope you guys do understand. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comments. I'm sorry if some of my words got scrambled up. I be talking so fast, I start just scrambling things up. So yeah, and the best part about it, if you go through Google, you can find so many different textures that are useful for you. So that's amazing. And like I said, building materials, it looks really, really complicated, but it's really not. You just gotta start learning more and more what stuff does, and you'll start getting a lot better at it. And if we really wanted to, we could add a height map onto that, but I'm not gonna do that. I'm not gonna overwhelm you guys. But in the next one, I might go over height maps and how to make them off of textures and what they could look like. So anyway, that's all that. Oh, awesome. One more thing I want to do with this. So I know some people really like making it to where you can move speed around, right? So we're gonna go ahead and add a param here, and we're gonna name it speed. Oh. And we're gonna go ahead, I did not mean to zoom out, and plug the speed into here. So now with this, what we can do, we'll name this we'll just name it speed. That's fine. So let's name it. Let me get to 1. Oh, 0.1. We can move both speeds. We don't want that though. So I want to go ahead, click in here. I thought I can drag X out. Speed X and speed Y should be the variables we can drag out. I don't know why it doesn't let us. But anyway, adding params is the way to set up how you can control speed in this scenario. It's really useful, and you might start understanding it more. I think I can make it. That's not it. There's some way you can probably do it in the settings of the component. I don't want to go through it all. But anyway, this tutorial has been long enough. I don't want to keep going. That's it, guys. I hope this helped. If you did enjoy, like and subscribe. I love making these tutorials. It's fun for me to do and show tricks off and make all this work. So I'll show you guys how to do more in the next tutorial. Stay tuned for that. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. Like and subscribe if you did, and let me know if you have any questions in the comments. Anyway, you guys, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day, night, whatever it is, and I'll catch you guys next time.